Hello guys, this is just a real quick video to share some of the latest tech that I'm currently using. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I've been making a lot of large moving parts that are really fast and seem almost unaffected by torque even sometimes, but there's a reason for that, and I've mentioned it several times in the past on some of my oldest videos dating back a year ago. And that's I've been using stacked turntables together with big robot arms, and most of you who's been following the channel for a while will know this already. And basically it just gives a massive boost to the speed of whatever's on top. If you have a robot arm on a top turntable and you have those robot arms assisted by multiple stacked turntables with a shared plate connection. I have a tutorial on this which I made a while ago. I can link it in the description if you're new. Basically what this does is it allows you to lift any amount of weight, no matter how heavy it is. You're still really fast as well, but you still have to build it a certain way to transfer the weight properly, because the weight does get transferred down to the stand. So the beams need lots of bolts. You need a secure beam stand or secure plate stand, and the weight also gets transferred to whatever's on top of the robot arm, the first connection to it. So you need a heavy plate to start the turret, or multiple heavy plates to start the turret base. But I've been using this tech for pretty much everything, my Jaeger, my turrets, and it's never been a secret. I've always told people exactly how I do it when asked, but I've never devoted an entire video to it, just because it does kind of utilize a bug, you could say. Like, I don't think it's supposed to be able to turn things that fast, even if you do stack turntables and use robot arms, and this has allowed me to do lots of inventions I would have never dreamed of doing with just stacked turntables by themselves. Don't get me wrong, you can still increase the speed and the torque by stacking turntables, but nowhere near as much if you have a robot arm on the top turntable. And recently I've been sharing this a little bit more on the Discord, and one of the people that I shared this with on Discord, Pegrin, actually made it an interesting little discovery, that the tool joint arm actually has the same effect. So the tool joint arm is a smaller version of the robot arm, and it fits on a small turntable, and it's much smaller, and this is great for me. I've been able to make much smaller turntables, so special thanks to Pegrin there for telling me about that. And I used that in the last tournament. I can still make big robot arm turrets, but they're not as good as when you have to use the tool joints, because they're smaller, and they also have more connection points. You can connect plates to any part of the metal arm on a tool joint, that metal rod thing. You can connect anything to that. You don't connect anything to the orange bits, same as the robot arm, because that will slow it right down. But yeah, just overall it's better, it's easier to connect things to it. It's a little bit more buggy. It actually shakes more than the robot arms did, and sometimes you just get loads of weird little problems that you have to fiddle around with. But overall it's just better, and a lot of my inventions will improve with this, thanks to this. So there you have it. Here's some free robot arm stands using a new tool joint instead of the robot arm. And you can use this if you want to build your own turret. You just have to attach whatever you want to pitch, like the gun arm on the side here. You can start with a heavy plate and then put some guns on the side of it, and on the top you attach down the structure of the turret, the house of the turret, that covers the turret basically. You can spread that downwards, or you can build straight directly above the thing there. But anyway, I won't go into too much detail, but I'm not going to be sharing all my latest and greatest turrets, but I'm just going to be sharing the methods here, because obviously all designers will lose their incentive to build their own stuff if I just share all the best stuff as soon as I've built it. Other free stuff in here as well. This is just an armor testing device. You just turn on these handheld weapons with a button, and you can shoot what's in front of them. Put some armor in front and put a battery behind that armor, and that way you can test if it's capable of blocking any of these shots. So that's one way to test your armor. As for the rail cannon, you want to have small spiked armor or small thick plates, because that seems to block shots better than big flat plates. But I won't go into too much detail here. But basically, the more voxels it has to travel through, the less damage it does. That's why so many meta fighters have spiked armor and glass that's pointing outwards. It's because they want to protect themselves from rail cannon shots here. So you can test your armor using this. And I've also included my old rail cannon cockpit here, which can turn 360. You just need to set it up with a mouse aim tutorial, which you can find on Happy Trigger's channel. I'll link that video in the description. You can skip the YOLO part he does at the end, but if you follow that tutorial you can set up the mouse aim for your ship, and you can use this turret. You just have to plug this turret in, set up the mouse aim, and it'll be good to go. It has a fire button as well. You need to keybind, that's it. And if you want to turn this turret around 360, you just have to aim towards the ceiling, and then the YOLO that I've provided here will automatically start turning the seat. And as soon as it does that, you need to flick your mouse back down. So you've got about 1 second to do that, and you can practice that. And you've got yourself a 360 cockpit, and you can aim behind yourself. So I'm currently designing a lot of new turrets and new prototypes using the tool joint arm instead, and I've been having some success in compacting the turrets down to smaller sizes, and I'm also achieving 360 spin a different way, but this was thanks to Loki on the Discord, because he provided a new method of 360 spin, which I can't share unfortunately because it's not mine to give away. And soon we will be getting another tournament of 3v3 1000 tons weight restriction. That's going to be the smallest weight restriction yet, but I'm going to try and squeeze one of my turrets on top of it regardless. It'll be interesting to see how small I can go. Until then, see you next time.